3 years ago, in 2012, a crack duo, one martial arts expert and surprisingly good mimic, the other a weapons specialist and professionally bearded, were sent to separate recording stations thousands of miles apart to do an 80s and 90s action commentary podcast for a crime they happily committed. Something James Spader told them about that involved an industrial drum of coconut butter hand lotion and a common household whisk. These men promptly created a passion-filled wave of action adoration that swept throughout the internet underground. Today, still wanted by Steven Seagal for making one too many jokes about his expanding gut and knitted hair, they survive as podcasters of fortune. If you love action, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you should be listening to Dr. Action and the Kick-Ass Kid commentaries. This podcast, people, explodes.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Action, the Kick-Ass Kid commentary podcast. I am Dr. Action.
And I am the Kick-Ass Kid, and this is the second of our special interview programs. Went a bit nuts recently online trying to hit some people up for some interviews, and we got in contact with a fantastic new action actress on the scene, already producing her own films, and the one that we were very lucky to get a screening of was Awaken, and that is none other than Natalie Burn. And she's really good, isn't she, Doc?
She is very good. She's a great actress, and she can kick the shit out of people. So that's always a big plus in our book.
A former dancer, so the fight choreography obviously comes from that. And we were very lucky to speak to her. So should we roll that first and then talk about Awaken, Doc? Or
I think we should play the bloody interview.
Let's play the bloody interview that Doc and I just did with the wonderful and awesome Natalie Burn, the lady behind Seventh Heaven Productions and the film Awaken.
Are you guys from London?
Well, I'm actually currently in New York. I'm from England originally, but I've lived in New York for the last 6 years, and Doc is over in Leicester in the UK.
Oh, nice. I grew up in London.
Oh, great. Lovely.
Years. Yep. Still go back there a lot because my family's there.
And you studied with a dance academy there, right?
The Royal Ballet? Royal Ballet, yeah. Then I danced with Royal House and Rumbert.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. You're on the line with me. My name's John Cross. I'm also known for the purposes of the show as the Kick-Ass Kid. And also here, as we've introduced already, is the Doctor of Action himself, Doc Paul Croson. We both really enjoyed Awaken. Congratulations with that, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah. And so it's a real pleasure to have you here. As we were just discussing, I know you started off as a dancer, and that obviously must help with a great deal of the choreographed fight scenes and things like that in Awaken. But when did you first get interested in acting, and was it action and horror and these different genre films that you've done that inspired you, or did that just happen to be the films that came along?
I've actually studied at Lee Strasberg when I first moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah. And
I went to the actor studio. I participated in a lot of their plays, and that was like more drama, which I enjoy a lot. So originally, I was going to be a drama actress, just kind of go by Stanislavski technique and nothing else. But then when I realized that females, action females is kind of hard to find, I feel like it is, maybe. And with my background as a dancer, I thought maybe there's something I can give more than just being a dramatic actress. I could do, physical stuff myself personally. So that's why I kind of got into genre films and action and stuff. And from what I found out as a producer later on, it's easier to sell action and genre films in itself than horror movies. I mean, than drama films, for instance.
Yeah, and it's a good pedigree. One of my favorite actresses of all time, Pam Grier, started off studying Stanislavski and all that, and being very serious about the craft, and then of course became this wonderful genre icon. So you're definitely in good company there.
Absolutely. I feel like you definitely have to study before you make your choice of where you belong. You definitely have to go through some school education and understanding your own craft and your own body and create this toolbox, and then take yourself wherever it is that you belong, and then just push that direction. So I think mine right now is definitely action films. I feel like I can definitely give a lot more than any other regular actress out there, just because I have the physicality and the background and my training. So
Definitely.
hopefully I can do something better with
Definitely.
action films.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you've worked with some great action stars: Olivia Gruner, David Carradine, Dolph Lundgren, Vinnie Jones, Daryl Hannah, Robert Davi, Michael Pare, and of course you worked with the cast of the Expendables. Were you a fan of their work prior to filming, and what did you learn, from working in those action films?
I love the classics. I love the. I'm obviously working with the Expendables 3 guys, the Sylvester Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Antonio Banderas and everybody else. They were like they're icons to me. I grew up in their films, Rambo. And I loved being on set with them because every single character, every single actor portrayed and gave something different, something from themselves, which you could study at school as much as you want, but once you're on set, you observe those people work, and you're like, oh wow, I've never even thought of doing that until I actually saw somebody do it. So that was kind of interesting for me to just observe everybody do their own thing and then come together, as a group. And I realized that, there's nothing you can do but go after, your dream and kind of be on set and study from those actors. And that's when you really develop your own, school that you go by.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned, that you can study as much, which I have. I've gone to every single school. I've done a lot of different methods, by acting. But I've only realized recently that it's what you can give and how you portray your part is what counts. In the end, it's whatever works, on screen, and as long as you can connect with the audience, that's what matters. And so I've learned different things from those guys. They've all had their own technique by which they were working by, and I've tried to take little bits and pieces from each and just kind of create my own techniques that I will go by.
Yeah.
And as far as my movie Awaken, I obviously Robert Davi is another great actor, and I try to surround myself with great actors in the first place. I knew that I was kind of I was starting in this business, and I knew that for people to respect me as an actress, I got to surround myself with great actors as well, so that I can work with them and I can get to the same level as they are and be comfortable in front of the camera. And they've all made me feel really good. We had an amazing chemistry on set. We all felt like it was kind of like a family community. We helped each other, and it was a low budget film, but we've all given something to make it great and to make it work in the end. And I think that's what kind of in the end, when you watch the movie, that's what you see, that we all had fun on set. And and that it was amazing. Daryl Hannah was great to work with, Jason London, obviously Robert Davi, David Keys, Michael Pare, Vinnie Jones, Edward Furlong. All of those guys, they're just they know their work so well that when you get on set, you know that one thing you don't have to worry about is the actors.
Yeah.
So I was confident when it comes to that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a great ensemble cast for Awaken. What were the challenges of making that happen, and is it something you want to go forward and do? Is work with strong ensemble casts again?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very important to have a great cast in the film, because again, they created more than what was written on the page, And I wrote the script with other writers, but it was my story that I came up with. So once we've had the script, and then you watch those actors portrayed on screen, you're like, oh wow, they've done a lot more than what I've even anticipated, and which is why you need strong actors. You can't just hire somebody. That's why I always strongly suggest to people go and study, because they kind of they bring more than what they are. And like Robert Davi, I always see him different, like he's great. Jason London, I was like very stunned with his work. And then obviously somebody like Vinnie Jones who adds his own personality, like that's who he is. So I would, if I produce films, I would strongly suggest to anybody and myself, like I will definitely try and get as good of a cast as in Awaken. It helps the movie a lot.
Yeah, it was great to see them all. And I've actually spoken to Robert Davi on one of my shows, and consummate professional and a real gentleman, and what a great guy to talk to.
Yeah, they were all great. I was impressed. Like so many actors put together in one room, and you know what? We felt like I don't know. It was like a family. Like we felt like we've known each other for years. It was great. No conflicts. It was very easy to work with everybody. No divas. Everything was amazing. It was a low budget film, and they were all so happy with everything. It's crazy. Like sometimes I would tell people, like I would tell the actors, okay, you're done for today. And they're like, it's okay, we'll hang out. And so many actors that literally stayed after their shooting day just to hang out and just to participate and help with something else on set.
Good to have that.
I can't tell you how many actors like those names helped me hold the lighting panel or something. Just so that so we can do it faster and better.
Yeah, good to have that kind of support.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So you've formed your own production company now. And you've got a great lineup of films on the way. What was the inspiration behind that? Did you always want to be more active behind the camera as well as in front of it?
Actually, that hasn't started until I came to LA, and I went to study acting first, Lee Strasberg Actor Studio and other schools, and I've started going out auditioning, and it's a tough town to kind of break through, and you go audition like 100 auditions, maybe you're lucky you get like, I don't know, two, you book 2 or something out of those. So I kind of realized that I just, I wanted to do more than just sit and wait for the callbacks and to get the job. So I realized that I had to do something else. So that's why I went to study at UCLA producing. And shortly after, I opened up my production company, Seven Heaven Productions. And I was like, I'm going to try and do first movies that I like. And that's something that I'm good at. And then eventually, when I'm good at producing, I'm obviously looking forward to doing more films where I'm just producing and not participating. So that was my take on it. I just did not want to be one of those actresses sitting at home and waiting for my agent to call. I wanted to do something.
And how easy is it to do something like that with the technology that's available now? And obviously it's less cost prohibitive than it would have been 20 years ago or even 10 years ago to kind of get equipment together and so on and so forth. And obviously you're making great connections with actors. Was that one of the reasons why you felt like you could do it, or was it just simply that you are that kind of proactive person?
Well, I am a proactive person, and it's very easy to take, an iPhone nowadays and just start filming something. So I would strongly suggest to any actor out there just to do something, because it helps. It develops your craft, and you'll learn on spot. You will not learn anything until you actually do it. But it's not easy to meet actors. I mean, you do meet them. It's not easy to convince actors to be in your movie, because after all, who are you? They're like, well, why would I be in your movie? So that's a challenging part. But since I knew some of those names already by working with them or by connecting with them through other stuff, I thought that I had an advantage on that. But the hardest part is to sell the movie. So that was when that's what I'm like facing right now. Not that my movie's selling fine, but the market is really tough nowadays. And I just realized that before anybody makes anything, they should just consult a salesperson or a distribution company before they do it, because it's really a waste of time when you make a great movie and then in the end you can't sell it. So that's something that I'm going to do from now on. Just like make sure that everything I do, it's strategized and not just like, hey, let's just do something. In the end, you still learn, but you learn more when you do something for somebody. So.
Right. So sort of get the European or the Asian or the American rights sold first and off the pitch, and then move forward with it.
Yeah, at least like get an understanding of what nowadays the world wants to see. Like be open to what they're asking. Like now you can come across a lot of actors saying, "Oh, I just want to do this drama." An amazing piece on something, blah, 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 and then you go there and you're like, well, you'll never sell a drama. It's hard to sell. You have no names. I don't know. It's a hard shoot. You have too many locations. Why do it? So you kind of start thinking as a producer, and you start saving the money, and you start doing stuff not just for yourself, but also for the audience, because that's what the market requires. That's what the audience wants to see. So we're like we're talents, and we're supposed to give them what they want, and that's it. Yeah. It's not, we don't just act for ourselves, we act for the world. We got to give the world what the world requires.
Yeah. Now, we've talked in the past to Fred Williamson, who obviously has his own production company, Po' Boy Productions, and he talks about back in the day going to Cannes and the American film market and various other places, and, really having to be kind of a huckster when it comes, like being a producer especially when it comes to selling the picture, is almost a very different discipline to actually creating a film, and obviously being a salesperson or a huckster or someone just kind of beating the pavement and taking those phone calls and all the rest of it. So, well, look, we obviously wish you the very best with doing that, because that's the bit that would probably drive me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm. It's hard to make a movie. I mean, if you made a movie, it's amazing. But if you sold a movie, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
That's even better. Yeah. So luckily, our movie is doing well. We have sold the all North American rights, and we've sold other territories. So that's the main thing. After that, everything else will follow. But still, it's tough. Like I've seen people, come with amazing movies, but no names attached, and it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
So of course, like I'm happy that I got this amazing cast to fall back on. At least I have great actors attached.
Yeah, exactly. And so the plan is it going to DVD? Is it going to theaters? Is it going online? What's the plan with Awaken?
I can't say anything about like all North American rights, because I haven't, the distributor hasn't given me an approval to talk about it. But I think we're going straight to, DVD. We'll get some theaters out, of course, not a major theaters, but I'll definitely push for getting some theatrical release.
Sure. Yeah. No, I see a lot of films that end up either straight to recorded media or straight to streaming. There are a few theaters in places like New York and LA and so on that will do a week run of them or a couple of weeks run of them. Yeah. So that's always a possibility. That's what I'm going to push for. Well, we definitely wish you the best of luck with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a gorgeous looking film. Where was it shot?
We shot most of the stuff in Los Angeles, actually. I found out there's so many beautiful areas in LA I never even knew. And some exterior stuff in Belize. So it was more, mostly like all the actors shot in LA, and everything else, like the outside was shot in Belize.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, because you really convinced us that it was filmed in an island. I mean, maybe an island off the coast of America, but still an island or somewhere in the Gulf or something like that. So yeah, very good.
No, there's a lot of effects in there, but I mean the stuff like helicopter shots, they were shot in Belize, but all the actors were shot in LA.
Yeah, you were the one who got to go to the nice part in Belize.
You are the producer, so you do get.
I am, yeah.
So we touched on it. We touched on it a bit earlier when you brought it up earlier. But there are some great women working in action today: Zoe Bell, Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey, Michelle Rodriguez, people like that. And we personally would love to see even more. I mean, we're big fans of going back to Cynthia Rothrock and, like I said, Pam Grier and so on.
Yeah.
What do you see the future is for women in genre films like this? And would you like to do an ensemble action film with sort of a group of women and really get everyone out there?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually close friends with Michelle Rodriguez. That's who inspired me to actually get into like more action films. I love her style. I love everything she does. And I also know Zoe Bell. Never met Gina Carano, but I like her. Obviously, I worked with Ronda Rousey in Expendables 3, so
Yeah.
she was amazing. She did her own stunts, and I was just stunned by everything that she was doing. Her physicality is, nothing compares to anybody. So I would definitely put something together like that. I'm all for, women power, and nowadays I think we're given more opportunities. Like women are given more opportunities to do stuff, and I think we're being pursued more serious now. Like we're actually. I think you can do a movie with all women in it and do an action film, and I think people will go see it.
Yeah.
As before it was all male lead and nothing else, and then there's some trophy wife next to it. I feel like nowadays we're given more opportunities, and it's definitely worth trying. Why not? We'll see how people respond on Awaken, and I'm the female, lead in it, so I think it's a good start. Michelle Rodriguez is doing well, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it goes back with, like I said, I've spoken to Cynthia Rothrock, and she was saying how none of her films, when you look at all the lead male guys who came out in the 80s and 90s, even someone sort of down the list to some extent, someone like Jeff Speakman, even he got his film theatrically shown, the first film he did. Cynthia Rothrock, even her Hong Kong movies never got a North American theatrical release, and there's some fantastic films there. She did a really great. So I think it's changed a lot, and hopefully it'll continue to change.
A lot,
so,
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely we're definitely giving more opportunities nowadays. So,
but you see Gina and Michelle's fight in Fast 6 in the underground in London is just. That's just
it's
terrific.
Amazing. Yeah. Exactly. They're better than some of the guys fighting, so why not? Why not look at this?
Definitely.
So, absolutely, yeah.
So when you were working on the Expendables 3, did the producers ever say they were planning on making a female version for the franchise? Have you been approached?
I've heard rumors, not sure if it's happening or not yet, but they were thinking of making Expendables, and that's all the female cast. And I would definitely love to be a part of something like that. I'm definitely going to try and audition and push myself to be in that, because that's something that is my dream part. Like be next to those amazing, great women and learn from them and just participate in a movie like that. That's amazing. Of course, I would love to fight in the film. My next Expendables. It'd be great if I could do something physical besides just, acting in it. So to show my physicality as well.
Oh, definitely. So who would you have in your team then? If you were a leader of the Expendables, who would you have in your team?
Oh, definitely Michelle Rodriguez. I wouldn't want to kick her ass. Definitely. I would have her on my team for sure. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, so can you tell us anything about working on the Mechanic Resurrection? We're big fans of Jason Statham, so I didn't know if you'd got a chance to work with him yet.
I did not work with him in Mechanic, unfortunately. I do know him, and he's a great actor and a great athlete. But I had most of my scenes with Jessica Alba. That was quite interesting, and I played a reporter. That was fun. It was fun going to Thailand and shoot this film there. It was great. Beautiful location, beautiful people, great cast, and it's a big movie.
Looking forward to seeing it.
A lot of people on the set.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up then, what else can we expect from Seven Heaven Productions going forward and from yourself as an actress going forward?
I am currently on pre-production of my film Devil's Hope. I wrote it with Jason London and Morgan Land. We are hopefully going into production in 3 months, and that's something I'm looking forward to shoot because it'll be a different part for me. That's as much as I can say. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, that's my next movie.
Well, look, Natalie, we obviously, both of us, wish you all the very best. Like I said, we really responded
Thank
to
you.
Awaken and can't wait to see what you come up with next. And, get Michelle in the movie and you two play buddy cops or something and go off and take down some bad guys or something.
Yay.
That'll be fun.
Yay, something like that, yes.
Yeah.
I hope so. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you
welcome.
so much for interviewing me. Yes.
Oh no, it was our
Thank
pleasure,
you.
and stay in touch, and I'll let you know.
Absolutely.
This will go up next week. I'm away for the weekend, so it'll go up next week, and I'll send you the link either via
Perfect.
Twitter or email or something.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Enjoy New York.
Yeah, I am. I have been for 6 years, and I think I'll continue for another 6 if it'll have me. So
I love New York.
I
I
know.
love London too, but New York is nice.
no, I lived in London for 2 years before I moved out here, but yeah, New York. There's nothing really to compare it. Even its down moments are better than most cities.
Even if there's a storm going on, it's still fun.
Yeah, exactly. We all just batten down the hatches and enjoy ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Exactly. Yeah. Well, enjoy New York.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
you.
Bye.
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 Well, that was a good interview, Doc. I don't know about you, but that was a good interview. I thought that went really well.
We only get the best people for this podcast.
We did. Last week we had Jesse Johnson, and this week Natalie Burn. We are really fast becoming the place to find all your action stuff.
We turned down President Obama this week because we only want action stars.
He is clamoring to come on the show to try and get some sort of indie street cred. So anyway, yes, that was the wonderful Natalie Burn. And we both, as I said, got a preview screener of the fantastic action island survival movie called Awaken, which, just a brief plot synopsis, it's not available yet, but we were assured, as you heard in the interview, that there is an American distributor about to pick up the movie and take it to DVD and hopefully streaming and hopefully some theaters as well, because it does have some amazing photography in it that would be great to see on the big screen. But very, very basically, it's a guy, a big evil guy who has been finding people on holiday in South America who have, because they've gone to a doctor or a dentist or whatever it is, who have perfect blood types or who are healthy or whatever, and his team of mercenaries have been kidnapping them, putting them on an island, and then when rich people need transplants, having his private army led by Vinnie Jones picking one of them up, taking them over, killing them, and giving their organs away. So it's a good little strong action narrative. It's not something we've seen a lot before, but it does tie into the trafficking movies that are coming out. We've got Skin Traffic with Gary Daniels, and then of course the
Skin Trade
with Michael J. White and
Dolph
Lundgren and
Tony Jaa,
and Peter Weller, of course. So yeah, we've got all these like trafficking movies coming out about like sort of ripped from the headlines action movies, I guess. And sort of the organ donor black market or organ harvest black market. It's something that's been touched on in other movies, but not in this sort of way. I thought it was a nice kind of... it could almost have been a sort of modern-day Bond villain, you know what I mean? He had like his South American compound and he had his, private army and the whole bit, like, bigger budget, and it could have been a sort of Bondy type thing.
Yeah, he's a good little villain, isn't he? Jason London.
Yeah, Jason London is the one from, weirdly enough, Jason and the Argonauts, The Rage, Carry 2, Dazed and Confused, because they're writing their next movie together, aren't they?
They are. That's good. Producers and people in the film industry get on, and they keep bringing each other back for the films.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice little community.
And I was surprised actually going back through her career and seeing that back in 2008, I think it was, or maybe 2007, she did a movie with Olivia Gruner. I was thinking that's a good way to start a burgeoning action career, is to start with one of the greats from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Actually, talking about Olivia Gruner, his film that was written by Richard Pearse got a release in England this week.
Nice, very nice. What was that? That was Sector 4, wasn't it?
So, it's got a different title.
Oh, what's it called in England?
I bought it because obviously Rich wrote it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So, Awaken, what a cast it has. We've got Vinnie Jones.
It's got a great cast.
It has. He's the leader of the mercenaries. Edward Furlong, he's a bit of a nutcase, hides out on the island. Daryl Hannah, she is one of the rich folk, but a very intimidating rich folk who's trying to get an organ for her daughter. Jason London, as we said, plays the villain. Natalie Burn, the lead woman who's looking for her sister. Robert Davi plays the sort of island know-it-all. He's the guy who's sort of been on the island the longest, and may or may not be in league with the bad guys. Who knows?
Bit of a shadowy figure.
Michael Paré shows up as
Michael Paré, who's who plays a sister. She's like a well-known horror star, isn't she? Oh, what's her name?
Oh, is she? The one who plays the sister. Is it Krista Campbell?
Yep, I'm sure she's in 2001 Maniacs.
Let me have a look. I tell you what she is in. She's in The Mechanic, dude. The first one.
Is she?
She's in the Wicker Man remake. She's in Kraken, Tentacles of the Deep. She's in Hallows Point, Showdown at Area 51.
She's in Drive Angry.
She's in Drive Angry. 2001 Maniacs, Field of Screams from 2010, the remake, sure.
Excellent.
She's in The Mechanic, Drive Angry, The Iceman with Robert Davi.
So they all know each other, don't they?
She's in Homefront. And then, surprise, surprise, didn't realise this at all, but halfway through there's a flashback to Dad in it. And we didn't ask her about this, of course. That was the one thing I forgot to bloody ask her about, was Benny the Jet.
Benny the Jet.
How do you pronounce his last name? Okides?
I think so. Benny the Jet Arquides, yeah.
Who is,
legend.
He plays her dad in it, fighting with her in a ring, teaching her how to get choked out and how to do all the moves to get out of things, which of course helps her out in the final battle.
It does help her out in the final battle. What a name to get, Benny the Jet.
Yeah. And probably,
Wheels on Meals, Dragons Forever, Gross Point Blank.
Probably the thing that keeps the action in the movie going, because while there isn't always action on the island or through the plot, you do keep getting these flashbacks to her and Benny and some cool moves in the ring.
Yeah, there's the two action scenes with Natalie, the one at the start and the end fight, fucking brilliant. She's definitely going to be a good action female lead. Actually, Molly saw the last fight with me. She was sort of sitting there and she went, she's really good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like you put her next to Carano and Rodriguez and Rousey and stuff, she'd hold her own, it'd be fine.
Oh,
maybe not in a ring, but she would definitely on a film set, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Because Rodriguez wasn't a trained fighter, was she? She's just done it.
No, but she looks good next to Gina Carano.
So we get to see Natalie do a lot of her stuff both in the ring and in the movie, which was my favourite stuff, I have to say. My favourite stuff in the film was her fighting people, fisticuffs and kicks and all that.
Yeah, it's good to it had a bit more plot to it, and
I'm not against that. I quite like that.
Yeah, it is a really good plot.
I really do like it. It could have kept up the pace a little bit in the middle, I think. Maybe some snappier editing or just tighten up the script a bit. And I wasn't, although I understood what they were going for, the other British soldier that she brings along with her, he didn't need to like quickly back out and then quickly stand up again. It would have been fine had they all just gone into the compound. I mean, I know what they were trying to do, but
yeah. I mean, he has a good little fight with Vinnie Jones, and Vinnie Jones is quite menacing, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
as always. He's like the go-to guy for you want a real bastard in your film nowadays.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
He's like Danny Trejo or Eric Roberts. You know what I mean? He's just in every movie now.
Yeah, but
which I have no problem with that because I like all those people.
He always brings something different to the film. I've seen him play football. I went to see him play football.
Well, I liked how in this movie he was listening to football. He was listening to an English game while they were, and that bit while they were coming into the compound could have been tightened up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was that they did some action. They had the beautiful location. It wasn't It was handheld, but it wasn't shaky cam, which was good.
But it was shot really well. It's
It
not
looked
like
beautifully, yeah.
You know, when you say it's handheld, I always think of handheld, and I think of like films from years ago where you know, where you used to watch it, you used to think, God, I'm not going to be able to watch all of this because it looks like a cam. It's
That's
shot
what
on
I
a
mean.
camcorder.
It's handheld, but it's shaky. It's not shaky cam.
No, it's shot so well, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, when she said in an interview where it was shot, I was like, fucking hell.
No, they've definitely found a way to accentuate the LA location and you know the bit that they shot in Belize. They've definitely found a way to match that very well. And the only effect shot I noticed was at the very end when the three of them go into the compound. The sort of dock buildings either side of the pontoon that they're walking along are CGI. I noticed that the ones that are like meant to be like floating cabins or whatever.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it looked very authentic. They don't shy away from gore. There's a shark attack in this movie out of nowhere, which is awesome. There is also plenty of gore with the organ donor parts of it, which I liked. You get to see a dead kid, always fun. But no, the shark attack was what impressed me because, you know, Davy gives this whole thing about the wolves of the deep, which I really enjoyed. Because you don't need to call sharks wolves of the deep because they're already sharks. That's already a scary thing. Calling them wolves of the deep is just surplus to requirements. But
That's probably why they got eaten by the sharks. They were looking for a fucking wolf.
Right, exactly. But the way that Robert Davi says it is so... the way he delivers that speech is so awesome... You don't really stop and think about it and go, well, wolves of the deep is irrelevant. They're just sharks. Like, sharks are already scary. You don't need to go, they are called the hamsters of the sky. You know, you don't need to, if they're pigeons, you don't need to call them, you know, they are called the hamsters of the sky.
Yeah,
well,
the feathered things.
Pigeons, you mean. They're called, you know what I mean? You don't say this, what is it? This
they don't need a code name, Davy.
Right, but the wolves of the
sharks.
sea, exactly.
But you give that sort of speech to Davy because Davy could deliver.
He just owns it, doesn't he? In fact, I thought Davy was really good in this, apart from the toque. The toque was the only, the wig was the only thing which I was like a little off-putting. I understand why they did it, but no, Awaken. So it's not available yet, but I do urge everyone to see it when it comes out.
It's not got a release date at all, has it?
And keep a look out for Natalie Burn's work in the future.
She's got, you know, I keep interrupting you, but she has got a really damn good resume. She's worked pretty damn consistently.
So Awaken's not available yet, but it's really good, really well shot. Some nice action in it, and a great cast. Like I say, a little bit slow in the middle. They could tighten it up a bit. Script could do with a bit of tweaking, and but apart from that, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. And you know, this action female star has got a hell of a career ahead of her in the action.
I tell you what, this woman's got chops.
Yeah.
As they say in the biz.
Yeah, that's definitely what they say.
I've heard people say that when
they do say that
when they're at a restaurant and someone orders the pork chops. This woman's got chops. And a baked potato. Check out Awaken. Check out all of Natalie Burn's work. Thank you ever so much, Natalie, for coming on the show.
Thank you. We much appreciate it a great deal.